All right. I couldn't wait for likes and shares and all that, for comments and all that for part 2. Here's part 2. I made it to my appointment. I got about 10 minutes before I got to go in. So let me try and get this all in. So, again, I'm laying there with my back and I can feel this energy behind me. Okay. And I'm terrified. Okay. Again, I'm like 22 years old. I've kind of always been scared of the dark. I don't know why. There's this like underlying problem since I was a fucking child that I have been scared of the dark. Like I cannot, I'm 40 years old now. I cannot go from my bedroom to the bathroom. And mind you, it's like a 1.2 second fucking walk from my room to the bathroom. And I cannot go to the bathroom without turning the hall light on. Like I can get up in the middle of the night to go get something to drink, or, you know, sometimes I get hungry in the middle of the night because I'm currently fighting cancer, so I can't eat all the time. So sometimes in the middle of the night, I get up and I go and get food. And I'll turn on every fucking light. Every fucking light. All the way down to the kitchen. I'll go in the kitchen, do what I gotta do, grab what I gotta grab. And then I'm turning lights off as I'm going back up. So I'm already terrified. I literally, like a little kid, throw my blankets over my head. And I shit you not, bro. I shit you not. The minute I throw this blanket over my head, you know, in movies, especially like horror movies, like, what kind of movie? Frighteners, okay? Frighteners with Michael J. Fox. You know how when they're showing back flashes of the 2 serial killers killing people, and you hear that like echoing background, like it's just in a dream, you know what I mean? I heard that. It sounded like a hallway, like somebody was walking down the hallway in these clunkers, and I could hear keys jingling, like it was a nun walking up and down the hallways, making sure that all the doors are locked and all the kids are okay and safe, you know, whatever. I'm going to think positive about that, okay? But I heard that. And then I heard talking, like crowd talking, you know, just general people talking in like if you're walking through a busy place. I hear that, right? And again, I'm under my blanket, okay? I feel this energy behind me, and all of a sudden, all of a sudden, I hear in my ear, and I swear to God, I ripped the blanket off myself, and I'm on the second bunk, so my ass just falls off the fucking bed and runs out of my dorm, okay? And I go to my RA, and I'm telling her, like, oh my God, I don't know if I just had a nightmare. Because, you know, I'm 22 years old. I'm mature enough to have, like, a conversation with my RA, you know, again, 16 to 24. So I'm sitting there, and I'm telling her, and I'm talking to her, and they're in the middle of a shift change. Because apparently this was at, like, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, okay? They're in the middle of a shift change, and we have the male RA that's coming in, and he tells me, that's when he starts to tell me that this place was like an orphanage. Like, I never knew the whole story of it. I knew it was an orphanage. I knew that there was, you know, nuns, and there was like children who went to school there or who lived there and were raised there, and some children had passed away. Like, I knew that, but I never knew the horror behind the stories. Like, these nuns were abusive and murderous. Like, these bitches murdered these children and buried their bodies all over the damn campus, okay? Which explains why we would always hear kids laughing and playing and having a good old time. Or sometimes we would feel the energy at the school itself just really gloomy, low, and like, you know? I don't know if you guys get what I mean, but that, yeah. So he starts telling me all this, and he said that there was a security guard that worked nights, and in the office or in the building that I'm currently going to be going to was the most activity. Things would go missing during the day. Sometimes you would catch a glimpse of somebody running by you. And then there were times where we would be walking at night after the buildings are closed and the lights would be flickering. And one time, I guess there was a security guard that seen that. So he went into the building to see if there was kids in there fucking around or whatever. Because, you know, most of the kids that went there that were young were all like, you know, roustabouts that didn't have nowhere to go. You know what I mean? So they chose to go to Job Corps, learn a trade, and try to learn how to get some money. But they were still young and immature. You know what I mean? So he went into this building, and he said that the weight of sadness that he instantly felt when he walked into this building was extremely overwhelming for him. But, you know, as a security guard for a school like that, you know, you gotta have some balls. You gotta take your ass in there and figure out what the fuck is going on. So he did. He went a little further. There's this little basement downstairs that I guess nobody knew about. And he walked into an area in that building. I want to say a room, but I think it was just an area, a general area. And the doors were lifted up. So he went down there. You wouldn't catch my ass going down there. I would have seen them open and I was out. Psych, I'm out. Sorry, don't go in that building. That building's toxic. But he went down there. And he said that while he was down there, all he could hear upstairs was like people, kids running all around this fucking building, laughing and crying. There was another time where I was walking. I was a little badass, you know. I thought I was a little popular badass out there. So I was cool with all the RAs. I was cool with all the security guards and whatnot. And I had a little boyfriend on campus at the time. So I would sneak out. I would tell them I need to go to the front, and I would sneak out, and I would go walk from my dorm to his dorm and go sit outside with him for like 10, 15 minutes. It was nothing. We were just whatever. And one night I was walking back to my dorm because I got a text message from my best friend that was at Job Corps with me at the time. And she said, so-and-so's looking for you. Hurry up and come back. She knew what I was doing. So I started to come back, and there was this young girl, I want to say like 16, and I recognized her face. I didn't know her personally, but I recognized her face. So I was, in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, this girl's probably, you know, getting kicked out of her dorm or whatever. This girl's probably just really upset. And I go to walk up to her because she's sitting there crying her eyes out, like crying. And you know, I'm mean, but I also have a heart. And as I'm walking up to her, I hear something behind me, and I look back, and when I look forward again, she's fucking gone. She's gone. And I swear to God, I felt the blood just drain out of my fucking body, and my whole body just went cold. And I booked it to my dorm. 3 days later, I shit you not, 3 days later, I'm walking in the office, in the front office, like to talk to like the director, principal of the place. And I see this broad's picture. She was a missing girl that went missing and never was found again. Never. Don't know anything. And this girl probably disappeared like 50 years before. So it was just a little shrine that somebody did about the history of Job Corps. Let me know if y'all enjoyed that. I'll give you some more. I have a few more.